Today I'm going to talk about the secret to quick profits that stock market professionals don't want you to know exposed. And that will be how to know with great accuracy what the next move is going to be, or a range for the move. So in essence, how to predict future price action using MSP ALGO and reversal pivots with 90% accuracy. Now, on Friday, which was the 19th, I believe, I used the combination of MSP range algo with the reversal pivot to determine what price was going to do that day. Okay, so that's what we're going to discuss. And then you become a fortune teller, a speculator. You'll be able to know what the future holds, because that is what the stock investing in the stock market is about, knowing what the future holds. But there's issues with that, and we're going to discuss that shortly. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the cheat sheet. So how to predict future price action using MSP range algo and reversal pivots with 90% accuracy. That data is on the cheat sheet. Okay, so let's go to the cheat sheet. Okay, here's the cheat sheet. I already click here, and you can see cheat sheet, support, resistance, pin. We're going to talk about what we call MSP range algo. You notice we also have MSP pin algo here. And we have what we call a reversal pivot and MM's emulation of what higher lower day would be, or sometimes it's the pendulum, the midpoint for the day. Okay, so but our focus is going to be on MSP range algo. So as you can see, it says the expected range for the day is 207 to 208. So that's a dollar range. So you can see the range at a glance. And there goes the symbols, the prior close, the pendulum, what support, resistance, resistance high, low, support high, low, which is the zone, resistance high, resistance low is a resistance zone. Support high and low is the support zone. We have the reversal pivot. Reversal pivot is an algorithm where, based on watching institutional investors and traders, where we think their range for trading is and where price would reverse. It's pretty accurate. This is expiration date of options, just probably ideas of what type of options you may want to get, and also the high and low of that option range there based on the support resistance levels. Okay, we got our 3-day money flow, fib, daily trend, what's today's date. In this scenario, it was August 8th, and it was Wednesday. So you could go here and you could pull it up, put in your search, You could search by symbol, start date, and end date. So we're just focusing on the 8th, which is a Wednesday, and we can see that. And so you could kind of just scan before the market open and try to see what may have a great possibility of having a good move. And so we could see Amazon look like about a $16 move, so I'll highlight that. BIB range. Normally I play like Amazon or Booking, but $8 for Booking is not a good move, really. It seems like most likely the market is not going to make too many big moves, just looking at the range of most of these stocks. Here we got a Tesla. It's say 23, so 355 to 379. And then we have SPY. It says 83 cents. So the upper range is 284.67 and the lower range is 285.5. So what that means is that is the range that price should travel today. It may do more, it may do less, but at least it should do it most of the time. Okay, so our focus is looking at the cheat sheet to look for what range a stock can travel for the day, and if we want to play that stock, if that is our trading strategy, playing MSP range ALGO, and we want to use it in combination with the reversal pivot. So what I would do is I would go to my Amazon chart and prep before the market open, because I think I want to try to play Amazon for the day. So let's go to the chart, and on this chart what you can see is a lot of chop. And so let's talk about with some visuals. In a nutshell, MSP range algo is designed to help you eliminate not knowing where price is going to go, whether price is chopping or not, or ranging or not. And we could see that this is ranging, and in this particular time frame, price moved less than $1. Okay, so 285.54 to 285.80. Okay, so the problem is that as a day trader or scalp trader, you're looking for trades, and price needs to move in order to go long or short. But if price is barely moving, it is hard to know where to go long and short. How do you make money in this chop? And also where to enter the trade. So the hardest part for a trader is where to enter a trade. So what the MSP range algo does is it eliminates that problem by gauging price action before the bell for you. So we're going to go to the 8th here of Amazon, and we can see that this price is barely moving. It's hard to really know what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I am going to so the market didn't open up yet, but it's the 8th, and this is what the chart would look like. We could see that price is not really doing much. It looked like this is about 1866 to 1862. And for $1,800 stock at the time, that's not moving at all. So what we're going to do is try to see where's the best play to scalp trade this to try to get the maximum range and a higher probability that we'll be able to scalp something that's hardly moving. If the stock is moving, it's even better. But the main agenda is, what is price gonna do? I mean, 1 minute is doing pop. You know, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's going sideways. You see what I'm saying? And then it's barely moving. So what we're gonna do is we're going to remove all these drawings and go to a longer time frame. So that was the 10-minute. So I now have the 60-minute. Okay, so I just want to emphasize what the ranging was. So we're going to put our indicators on, MSP ALGO indicators, to kind of give us the clarity we need to trade. Okay, so we could see that this is the 8th, and we're going to add extended hours to that. I just went to the bottom, EXT, extended, go to the 8th. I'm going to hit replay so I could just see what I need to see. So we go to 8th, the market just opened up at 4 a.m. and price is just pretty much going sideways here. So what I'm going to do is I would have put my support and resistance lines of that particular range. So I'm going to go back to the app, and I could see that the range is about 1848, 67 to 1865. So I round this off to 1849 to 1865. So I'm gonna get a horizontal line from in here. Click, horizontal line, click. So it was what, about 1849. So I'm gonna try to put this line there, 1849. And why am I doing this? The reason I'm doing this is because when a market open up, I don't want to have to try to say, what was that price again? It's right there, it's easy to see, and it's easier to trade. So we had that 1849, and I believe we had about an 1867. Let me confirm that. $18.65. So this is the, so as we can see, this is 4 a.m. The market just opened up. Normally the cheat sheet don't come out until 8:30, so let's go and forward this 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. That's 8 o'clock. Okay. All right. So normally the market, the cheat sheet, it comes out before the market open, about an hour before the market open, about 08:30. So this is we're looking at this hourly for now. So this is the 0800 candle here. So we could see that we got our lines, and we could kind of see the route we think price is going to travel. The route, like a road map, you have GPS, and you have a street and a highway, and that's what this is. This is the path to travel for Amazon for the day. Okay, so now let's see how this played out. This is oh, we got one more thing we need to put on there. We got the range ALGO. Now we need the reversal pivot, and that was 1863. We're looking at Amazon highlighted in yellow, and we added the support and resistance for the support and resistance, the 1848 around 1849 and 1865. Now we're looking at the reversal pivot, and we're looking at 1863. Okay, so we want to go and put that reversal pivot on there, and like I said, this comes out, it run at 0830, so you have about an hour to prepare before the market open, which is the best route. So we know 1863. So we want to put that support resistance line on our chart as well. So I kind of got it color coordinated, so I know what is what. So I am going to make the reversal pivot yellow in this scenario, and it was 1863. What is a reversal pivot? A reversal pivot is a price point where price has a high probability of changing direction. So you want to have that on there as well, because that is what the market maker is using in conjunction with the range, hypothetically. Okay, hypothetically, we should know what's going to happen today. And I didn't look at Amazon, so we're going to just, I'm not sure what happened here. But what we're looking for is, we thinking price gonna most of the time stay in. I mean, it just really depends. If it's chop day, it'll stay in this range. We know we could go long and short. It just really depends. Of course, there can be extremes above and below. Okay, so but this is the main area that we think price action will hang out today. Sometimes it can break it and drop like a rock. Sometimes it can break out and pop to the top. But what the point is, delete this. The point is to know direction. Pop or drop based on where it's at. So your focus is near the extremes, okay? So we know near that 1865 means most likely gonna pull back. Near that 1849, most likely gonna pop. Okay, let's see what happens. And if we could predict future price action with a high probability of success. So, this is the 9 o'clock candle. Okay, now what happened? Okay, obviously this broke out. So we know that a reversal pivot is a great indication of where support and resistance is located, right? So our reversal pivot is in yellow. So it was 9 o'clock. We waiting to see direction. We're not in a rush because we know initially there's going to be a lot of money, orders to be filled because people have advance orders. And once the cloud clear, we want to see where is price in relations to the reversal pivot. Is it going to become support or resistance? So the positive thing about this is, in this particular scenario, I've seen it where it just chop up and down in it, but in this particular scenario, seems like it didn't really go all the way down. But we do notice that price is holding above our reversal pivot at 1862 at the 10 o'clock candle. Okay, so we can see this is a breakout. This is a breakout. So we know that this is a long. Okay, now let's pretend we had some support resistance on here. Some fibs. So we could see we have an 1865, so that's where that reversal pivot was, where there was a fib. And so where's the next fib? We think in 1885. So this is on the 60-minute time frame. I just selected the high and low to quickly draw some fibs here. So in this particular scenario, you knew that one was a long, okay? Now, this isn't the best example. Like I said, I didn't look in advance. So the reason is because normally it just really depends. I kind of like it to do a little bit more of the range price action. But the range for the day was about 17, so we could see it did that, went to 1865 to 1885. And just checking pre-market. Okay, so let's look at another one. Let's look at SPY. So before we move on, so in essence, we notice that this zone, because we know support and resistance is a zone because we watched the support and resistance video. So it became a zone, and so in this essence it became support. It looked like it tried to retest that. Let's look at a 10-minute time frame before we move on. So this is what it would have looked like at the 10-minute. So let's go in and speed this up here. And we can still see our lines here. We could see that this is acting like support in pre-market. So it's important to see what they're doing, even though they can change. Look like it dropped a little bit there. So that's still pre-market. And the market opened up. And price broke out. And this seems like it retested the reversal pivot, right? See the little wick came down, the little tail there? And it held, and then it just ran. Okay, so let's look at another one. Let's use a 10-minute time frame for the next one. Not sure what SPY gonna do. So there's pre-market here, and we're gonna look at SPY. Have that highlighted, so it says 83 cents. So we got a 284.67. 285.5, so that means this is about $1, okay? So 284.67, let's mark that. Cheat sheet came out at little after 0830 after it ran, so let's go on and try to put it close to that time frame. So it looks pretty busy in pre-market. You just want to draw lines what it would have looked like. Our support resistance. Okay, so there go 830. Okay. 285.5. Don't need to be exact. I want to color code my support resistance there, and that was 285.5, and I think it was about $1 difference. 284.67, somewhere around there. Alright, so that's our space there. Let's see what that reversal pivot was. 286. Another thing I like to do is, it can vary, that's why I'm doing a few. It's price above or below on the open, that's another gauge too. Sometimes they'll push it up. Okay, so that's our reversal pivot, and this is our range. Let me verify that. 284.67 to 85.5. Okay, let's see what happens here. So the goal is, if price is to watch price, and if the MMs if price goes there, the MM's gonna think price gonna pull back unless things change. So that's what we think about. The main thing is where's price in relation to that reversal pivot. So we think up. And we think this is support, so it could either bounce off support or it could become resistance. So this could. Alright, so let's go and fast forward this here. And we use other things in conjunction with this, but I'm just going over the range algo and the reversal pivot. Okay, so let's go. So we're watching price action and what it's doing. So like I said, the main price point is that reversal pivot. Is it going to be support or resistance for that day? So you kind of want to just watch. And so we're getting close to end of day there. Okay, so we was able to gauge that this was resistance. Market opened up and went to the higher the range. It became resistance. It pulled back, not quite to the lower of the range, and then it bounced back to the purple line and steadily holding below that reversal pivot. So this is the short zone. You're thinking that this is the short zone. In this area, you're looking for shorts. So what I would also do is I would use MSP Algo Trading Bot. So let's go pull up MSP Algo Trading Bot and use in conjunction with this. And I just open up another tab. I'll go here. That way I could, that's just high level. So we're gonna go to the 8th of August, SPY, because I could get more information. So that's high level information. So what that does is it stops the market maker from doing fake outs, and you know that that most likely it's a fake out after after that initial open. Okay, so now this is MSP Algo, and we have what we call our average buy and our average sell. Okay, so this is the 60-minute here. So on the 60-minute, I could kind of gauge. It was kind of choppy initially in the morning, and it's kind of long, short. It's a bit choppy. So in order to chase something that's that choppy, you need to go to a lower time frame. The higher time frame's good if it's trending, if it begins to trend. But if it's just trading, 80-cent chop, 50-cent chop, you need to go in and chill into a smaller time frame. So we're trying to see when the market opened here. And the main thing I want to do is see where my support resistance levels are. So I could click on here, and it's telling me that my support's 285.25 or 285.5, and my resistance is 286. So let's go and draw that on my chart as well. So we're looking at 285.25 to 285.5. So I'm just going to draw the lower and the upper range, okay? So that means I'm just going to draw the 285.25 and the 286 rounded, okay? So I'm just going to use white in this particular scenario. 285.25 and 285.84. Okay, so I got a few things here. Number one, the MSP range algo for the day. And number two, where are the institutional traders buying and selling today as of after the market open? All right, let's go to okay, so that's MSP ALGO trading button. You can see I got my support, my resistance levels from the app, and I could see what the average buy and sell is. So I could use either or. And they were pretty similar and close, so I just used it's pretty much the same thing. So I could gauge where I could scalp this particular stock. Okay, so. And we also got the average buy and sell, okay? So as the market opened up, we know the expected range that the stock may be limited for the day, as well as what the bot is telling us. Normally, here goes some other fire alerts. Normally means an accumulation of distribution zones being created. So that's near 285.34. So pretty much a lot of stuff is near the same price. So we think we got a good range here. And it looks like this thing just kind of chopped all day. So the goal is to be able to scalp something that's barely moving, because at the end of the day, this is at 285.43, and at the market open, it was at about 285.3. You see what I'm saying? So how can you make money from that? Can you? You surely can. So let's go back to the chart. And we was able to gauge this, where to go long and where to go short, okay? So when the market opened up, let's go to so this is market open here. So as the market open, let's okay, as the market open, let's just zoom this. I'm not sure what's going on with changes sometimes. So this is where the market opened up. So the first thing we could see is that price is near one of our price points. Okay. So it may become a resistance. This is also good to use in conjunction with measure move alerts as well, because it tells you that price is going to move now. So let's look at so in essence, this attempted to hit this 285.50 and immediately went to the 285.24, right? So that may be one trade, because you see and you looked at the app and you notice it's selling or whatever, that's a short, and you know where your target's at, right? You know the minimum target you have, a high probability is this is what our support resistance, or the average buy sell before the open, right? So that's 285.24. Normally you want to try to see if you could go long below it. You would have to look at or is it going to continue. So the thing is, if this hold, we know that where our next target is. You see what I'm saying? So if this hold, like, we may be able to look at the app and see that they buying. So if this hold, we'll know we could go long here, and we know that our target would be this 285.49, right? Because we're going to respect each line. We thinking that we could at least get there. So that would have been a 285.24 to this 285.50, a 25-cent pop. So we think we could at least get that 25% pop. If it could break out, then we could probably hit that upper range there. But we know this reversal pivot is resistance. So we're not going to be buying any 287 calls. We're not buying any 288 calls, because we know better, right? Because so far this reversal pivot is resistance. Okay, so now when price pulls back, let's get rid of some of this. So when price pulls back, let's go. So we know we got, this is our short zone here, our long zone, somewhere around in here, I would believe. And we're going to say that's support, and that is resistance. So these pivots will come out and tell you, ooh, there's a little danger, you may want to get out. So you don't got to worry about if it is going to go exactly that high or whatever. You can scale out of your position or scale into your position. Okay? And the great thing about this is you can put your little stop about 25 cents above or below, depending on if it's a short or long, okay, above the resistance. So if this was 286, you have your stop, and you were short at 286.25. If it hit it, then it's time to get out that trade. Okay, so but in this particular instance, price did actually go near the reversal pivot here and hit the resistance. Okay. And so we know that most likely this is because it's in sync with their average buy sell for the day, that it may pull back, right? And our target would have been here. So this is what helps you know what your target would be. If that failed here, okay? And let's do one more. And obviously, and another thing you can also use, is the checklist. Use that checklist, the MSP Algo checklist, in conjunction with this method here, if possible. So let's go look at the cheat sheet, and let's look at another day. Let's go to the 3rd of September. Do a search. All on September the 3rd. Okay. Obviously wasn't open that day. Let's go to the 10th. Probably a holiday or something. Now, you notice sometimes the MSP algo was not sure. It didn't have enough data. So, so here we go. Now, something strange happened with this stock, and it says $32 move. I'm thinking that there's an issue here. So I'm going to look at that. So that's kind of too big a move for a stock. So this isn't a good day because it looks like a lot of it must have been chop, chop, chop. Wait, because not much is moving. Looks like a big move already happened there. But that's what it does. It kind of helps you stay away from chop as well. So I see booking a $16 move here. So let's look at that. Okay, so this is on the 5th. So let's go to booking. We're going to go to the 5th. So the range was 1920, 1936. So 1920. $19.36. Don't have to be exact. And the reversal pivot was 1925. So before the market open, our main concern is that reversal pivot to see if it's going to become support or resistance, and this is our range. Of course, we know price could deviate and break out and run, or vice versa, but the goal is price to know what's going to initially happen, pop or drop. So as the market opened, let me pause this. This is the market open here. And we could see that our reversal pivot became resistance. And we could also see that our lower range became resistance. So we know we're playing resistance. So this dropped at 100 miles an hour. So what I would be doing is I would be waiting to, if I didn't get in that trade, is see if price could retest that 1920, and if it failed, short it. Of course, use in conjunction with the other tools. Another good tool to use in conjunction to make sure that price is going to move is the measure move alerts intraday. Okay, so that was on the 5th. And we're looking at Amazon. And we could see that we did have some signals. So we know how this works. And I'm thinking that I have a new assessment of this. The goal is for it to break out. And if it can't break out, it's going to drop for initial scalps. So at 9:40, I'm sorry, this is Amazon. Let's see if we had any for booking. So at 9:30, 9:40, we know a move is going to happen. That's the benefit of the measure move alerts. You know a move is going to happen, right? You know that the big boys are there and the move's about to happen. So this wasn't filled that at the time, but we got booking. And we know it was near 1925 rounded at 9:30, so we got an alert. So this tells me that price is going to try to break out above a prior resistance level, and if it fails, it's going to drop. If it succeeds, it's going to pop. Okay, so that's at 9:30. Let's go back to the chart here. I'm going to put my measure move alert at 9:30 on the 5th. So that's when that alert came out. Okay, so in this particular scenario, it's supposed to be trying to retest the resistance level. We can't see it on this 10 minutes, so let's go to a 1 minute and see if we can see it on that. Okay, so we see our, let's blow this up a little bit. So the market opened up and we had a measure move alert. We're using this, we could see our range algo and reversal pivot, right? So we could see that price opened up right near that reversal pivot. And our goal is to see if it's going to pop or drop. So since it's getting near a reversal pivot, is price going to drop? So we got to wait for the shenanigans. Normally at first 20-30 minutes and make a move. Okay, so here it looked like it was the market maker was going to get out, so he did a pop to drop. So this is exactly at 9:30. So the market just opened up 9:31, 9:32, 9:33. So we see price, it didn't drop as quick as we thought. We actually have time here. So we could see, so we see that this is acting as resistance, right? We can see that reversal pivots acting as resistance. So we want to see any test of that pivot to short, okay? And we already know we got some momentum. So if it retests and it started to drop, short, and try to short it, and as we can see, it did drop, and it didn't stay in this range. It doesn't always, but like I said, the range, algo, and reversal pivot is an excellent tool to use to gauge price action, whether price is going to pop or drop. Okay, so let's go to a 60 here. And that's what it looked like that day. So this whole range algo became resistance for the day. And we could see that in the future, the next day, price hit it. Actually, this is the 5th, this is the 6th, and price hit it. And you see how it became resistant? These are the price points that the market makers and institutional traders are using. So you can see they're very hot, and they're very effective to gauge pop or drop, because sometimes you just don't know. Up, down, 1 minute's going up, 1 minute's going down. You want to know, what is it going to do? So we know reversal pivots are a gauge to know if it's going to become support or resistance. And if price is ranging, it'll normally range inside the range. But if it's not, it may use it as support or resistance, okay? I'll do another video in the future, but this is a high-level overview. And another thing I was talking about is that when these measure move alerts come out, we're going to go back to, let's try 5 minutes. When those come out, price need to break out, attempt to break out. And if it failed the prior resistance, so you can see what was the prior resistance. I could see it was at 1926, but we got our reversal pivot. So we just going to say it need to break out at 1925, right? Or if this is the range algo or whatever, we'd say it need to break out between 1935 and 1925 to survive. Otherwise, it's going to drop. And it looked like it did make that breakout attempt. It was hard to tell because on the 60, it looked like it just dropped right away, but it didn't. It took a little bit of time, 10 minutes or so, and it just dropped. So that short from this point of that reversal pivot inside that MSP range algo is 1925 to 1872, okay? So that is what this is about. The secret to making quick profits the stock market professionals don't want you to know is that you can gauge and predict future price action by using the institutional traders and market makers' pivotal price points to scalp trade whether price is in chop or not. When price move, it's great. When price chop, it's still great. That way you know if it'll be pop or drop, chop. So the key to making money and making quick profits is to exit your positions. Do not hold on to those options and swing in these sort of environments. So that is what the professionals don't want you to know that are selling these premiums, is that A lot of people like to stay in their positions when a market is really chopping and all that sort of thing. So based on the algorithm and the intel we get, that is not your best option, because that option is going to decay as long as it stay in a chop range. Okay, you see how it's just really chopping in a range. It's really going nowhere, right? So that means that if you got that short, you would want to exit. We see a pivot came out, or you could have said out, right? If you took the scalp, back up, out. You got to get out. If you bought here and price went here and you're holding options for a while, your options just going down even though price isn't doing anything. So you see how this is chopping itself to death? Okay. All right. So the secret to quick profits the stock market professionals don't want you to know is how to play options or shares as traders and be in and out at the speed of light using reversal pivots and MSP range ALGO. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll have some more great videos. These videos are above and beyond thinking out of the box. We're thinking from a market maker manipulation perspective, and not from what is that stock going to do long-term perspective, because we are traders, okay? So use that in conjunction with the other tools, which are the measure move alert, and we got the cheat sheet. That is it, and happy trading.